Amount of channel. Today's video is inspired by a Facebook post which I saw recently, and it shocked me because someone asked the question in a jeweller's group, how do you make a notch on an earring post? And there were quite a lot of replies, like 6 or 7 people saying, you just hold it in your side cutters and give it a twist, or like, yeah, tin snips, like just twist it with tin snips. And it's just such a bodge. Like I never would have even considered doing that and calling that like a technique to finish a piece of jewellery. It's just the worst thing I ever heard of. When I even said that, I said that's such a bodge, like you look shock me. In this video, I'm gonna correct those people's wrongness. My ways, maybe I take it for granted, but I've always, for the last 15 years, I've only really made expensive jewellery. Sorry if that sounds snobby, but it's kind of the truth. Just down to the place I worked, it's very high-end stuff. So I just take it for granted that everything I was doing had to be done really high quality. It's great because it's great training. You get pushed to work as best possible. And even the guys that were training me, they were training me up. You know, once you've been there a few years, you get used to their way of working, and you can kind of do everything they ask, although I still have to ask their advice on how they want things done all the time. But I was always, as I was working, I was always looking for ways to improve it further. So I've just got that mindset now to always look to do things better and better. So to hear about people making jewellery, doing that and then calling that like a finished thing, it just blows my mind. That's so bad. So I don't know what it is about jewellery. I guess it's just because you can buy a few basic tools cheaply and then have a go yourself at home. There are many people having a go at making jewellery, and they've done a few things and it worked for them, and then they start recommending to other people how to do that, and then it just kind of grows, and a very low skill level of jeweller is born, and then they spread out more. And so people like me that really tried for many years to get very good, there's not many of us about, and then we're not shouting loud enough about how to do things properly. And also just the problem with nature of society, people get offended and don't like it when you tell them that they've done something wrong. So with this channel, I hope to tell those people they're doing something wrong, but also show them the correct way to do it. And of course, there's going to be a harder, more time-consuming way to do something really properly. Just try to be as good as you possibly can. If you've made the effort to buy tools and like take the time to make jewellery at home, you may as well push your skill up. Like every time you sit down on the bench, you should learn something and try do what you could do. If you find a new way to do it better, try that way and then improve your skill. And onwards is upwards, as they say. Right, so let's get into this. Earring posts. If I remember correctly, they were 12mm long was a good length. You can't go too long because it goes, if the post goes through the ear, if it's too long, it stabs people on the back behind their ear. So, what's this? This is a bit of wire I snipped off. I snipped off at 14, yeah, perhaps. I think 12mm. I'm sure 12 was the number we used to do. It's not too long. It's borderline short compared to a lot of posts. Between 12 and 14, I think, good lengths. Thickness-wise, this looks correct to me. I think they should be a little bit thicker than I see on a lot of them, and you can even buy them from like suppliers, like ready-made, and I think they're too thin. This is 1mm exactly. Maybe 0.9 to 1mm, and 12mm long is a good gauge of measurement. Right, so if you are making an earring post, this is just a normal bit of metal, but if you are making earring posts for a piece of jewellery, only use hard wire. So that's important, because you need them to be strong and stay straight. Right, so let's get into this. First, file the end completely flat. Put that post in a ring vise. About that much sticking out the end. Get a pair of dividers, open them up about, that's too much. Open them up about that much to give you a measurement. That is approximately 1.8mm, 1.82mm, be alright. Get the end of your, what will be your peg, and then rest it on the wood and score around it. Try not to push too hard on the end because you'll just scratch up the end, but I'm pushing more hard on the bit where I'm drawing the line, and I rotate it a little bit, give it another little dig, rotate it a little bit, give it another little dig, and go all the way around it. Use your loop, double check it. It should be quite a nasty looking scored line all the way around it. Again, rest your earring post on your wooden bench peg. Now, get a thin-ish, I'd call it a medium, I don't know if that's a cut 4, it's not 3. It must be a cut 4, this saw blade. Click it in, that little joint, and then you're not sawing down to cut into it, you're only going like with the flow of the teeth. Like sawing down is too severe, so I just rotate it as I push my saw blade up, and try and do this evenly and keep it straight, going on the same line. Just go around it a few times. Just keep it in mind, the deeper you go, the more weak that post gets. God, I haven't done this for years. Well, about a year. I quit my job as a professional jeweller last May 2019, and then moved to Japan. Hence, I've got time to make videos now. Okay, going around it, feels much smoother now. I mean, as you rotate it, you can feel if there's any like little lumps you're kind of cutting off. Okay, get your loop, have a look. Okay, I've evenly cut down into it. Should be a nice sort of flat circular section. Not all like bumpy and jagged where you're cutting. Should be nice and round. So you can just feel it as you rotate it. Just rotating it does kind of do the work for you. Now my next weapon is this needle file. It's a knife edge. It's got that no teeth on that section, goes to a point that way, goes to a point that way, and it's knife edge, so it goes to a kind of blade. Yeah, this is a smaller than usual sized needle file. It's a N22, what does that mean? cut 5 Swiss made F Dick. So with that blade, yeah, I think you may be able to use a normal size. I mean, that's an extra big one. If you've got a normal, what I call normal size, which I don't have, yeah, that's like a normal size needle file. Or is that a small one? Oh, I don't know. I'll edit that bit out. Right, I just threw the wrong file down. This one. No, not this one. I'll flip it, heck. Here we go. Yeah, with that blade, the knife edge bit, again, click it in. Give some more light on the thing. So click it in, and again I wrote. Be careful, don't jump out of position. I rotate it as I'm grinding my file upwards over it. I used to just do the saw blade and then polish it out, but with a lot of scrolls it wasn't quite enough of a dip, so that's why I started doing the files now. Especially those alpha fittings, the little spring-loaded little disc ones, they need a slightly bigger groove. I remember those, that for a pair of them in platinum, they were like 70 quid. A lot of customers were moaning about those. They were the best ones though. Let's give you a close-up. That's as I've just cut it. There's no polishing tricks or any kind of cleaning up really. It's just my raw tools. I've done it to that standard. So not too deep to the point where it's made it weaker. I've just cut like a nice sharp groove out of it. Next I will take a kind of smoothish buff stick. Just get rid of the file marks on the end. And then hold it at an angle. You don't want a sharp edge there or any kind of burrs. Just rotate it again as you're buffing around. Just take that corner off. Just make sure there's no scratches on your post. and this has to be polished carefully. You're making a £2,000 pair of earrings, like you can't have a scratchy post. The post has to be mirror finish as well as the jewellery. So if you made one and handed it to me for me to check over like you finished it, I'm picking this up and I'm looking at your polishing on the post. And if I don't like what I see, guess where you're going? Back to the polishing motor. I recommend these kind of black bristle brushes for doing earring posts. The post is still in my ring pin vise. Just going up and down gently. It's nice if you can get the bristles going along it, get rid of any kind of scratches, better that way. Just a general go over. Obviously don't bend it. This is proper soft bit of silver, so I'm being extra careful with it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to shorten that. So I've shortened the pin in the pin vise. So I can concentrate on his end bit now. Just rotating it. Just touch the end a little bit. It's a good idea to keep a 10 times loop at your polishing bench so you can check things you're working on. Again, trying to polish down it. Have a close look. Yeah, just gently polish it. It's all in the rotation. Try and polish it up, down, left, right, get it all different angles. Obviously it's circular, so keep it rotating as you're moving it about. Just catch the end a little bit, get rid of any sort of sharp edge. Just gently, gently. The polisher motor will do a nice job of rounding off the corners. I mean, this is a piece of silver at polish very quickly. If that's platinum, you need to take a lot more care to get it polished nicely. I've got a rouge mop on there now. I didn't expect this video to have so much polishing instructions on it. Just lightly touch it with that. If you loop it and see there's any scratches, you're going to have to go back to your grease mop and then do some more work on that before rouging it again. Don't try and rouge out scratches, because you'll just wear out all the edges and won't be as nice. Tell you what you should have done, you should have checked your scroll on it, make sure it's working and clicking properly, but this video is about putting that notch in the post. Okay, so let's have a quick look at what I just did. Only a few minutes work, remember? It's not a big job doing this. Just rotating it now, so you can see the polish all the way around. Hopefully you can see the neatness of that notch. Okay, let's do one of those bodge job versions and we can compare them side by side. So I've got a little bit of metal here. Right, let's see in the mind of a bodge job artist. Just file it badly on the end because quality doesn't matter. Leave it sharp because quality doesn't matter. Get my side cutters. How can I hold it like a bodge job artist? I'm just going to hold it in pliers because I'm a bodge job artist now. And then rotate it. I laugh, this does a really good job. It's actually, no, it's not. Okay, come on. Well, I'll tell you what, I've twisted it. By holding it tight enough to put a groove in it, it's actually twisted the post as I rotated it. Okay, let's compare. Alright, so I've got them both in pin vices now. I can rotate them both, look, as I'm holding them and getting up close. So, 2 pairs of earrings for sale in the shop. They both say they're handmade. Which ones do you think are higher quality? The ones on the left? The ones on the right? Oh my god. Okay, right, so it's difficult to say about what I've been involved with without sounding big-headed, but I don't care. The most expensive earrings, I think, that come to mind that I made in recent years were a pair of 4-claw diamond studs. This guy had This guy had 2 carats in each ear. So go ahead and Google how much a nice quality 2-carat diamond is. You'll be shocked. So when people are spending that kind of money, you've got to do things properly. You really, really got to do a good job. And if they're spending big money, they just will not accept that. They'll throw it back at you, and then they'll tell other people not to go to you. It's important for your reputation to do as good a job as possible. So yeah, with that in mind, if people can pay that kind of big money for things that I've made, maybe my way is a good way to make jewellery. Maybe. Up to you to decide. Or you can just do it the Facebook way. Whatever.